For the next 10 minutes, we're gonna spend time working on mobilizing our hips, specifically hip flexors and hip extensors. So we got glutes, and then we got our hip flexors in front, psoas muscle, rectus femoris. When it comes to strengthening and mobilizing, you want to combine the two together in order to get the best response. So the two things that I want you to focus on here are contraction and control. Contraction particularly for the most part isometrically, and then control. As we're moving our joints, what we want to do is control every small little angle of range of motion. So when I'm doing hip flexion or hip extension, we want to contract as hard as we can to help build that strength and be able to control our muscles at whatever range of motion it might be. First and foremost, we're going to start with just greasing up our hip joints. So we're going to get down onto all fours, and we're going to go for what we call fire hydrant. So with a fire hydrant, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my hip into flexion, out into external rotation, and then bring it all the way around. Or sorry, out into flexion, abduction, and then we got rotation all the way around. So I like to tell clients you're drawing a big circle with your hip, but you want to pretend you have a glass of water on your back here and you're not spilling that water. So we got 4, we're going to go for 10. 5, 6. You might feel some cracks, some clicks. If you do, just go slower through that area. Again, emphasizing control and working to strengthen that area as best as we can. I believe this is number 10. I'm going to switch sides here, go to my left leg, down, I'm grounded through the shoulders, and then again into flexion, abduction, rotate around, little squeeze of the glute at the top, rotate around. Good, left hip seems to be a little more creaky for me, so I'm going to go a little bit slower with these reps. Good, in, up, out, around. We're going to call that 5. In, up, out, around. 6, being conscious of the glass of water on your back, don't spill. 7, in, up, out, around. 8, good, in, up, out, around. 9, one more, in, up, out, around. 10, beautiful. From here, we're gonna walk it up. We're gonna go into a half kneeling position. In my half kneeling position, we're gonna work our hip flexors at their lengthened end range. So my hip flexor is out here. The other thing that I'm going to do is I'm gonna work my hip extensors, specifically my glutes, at their short range. So I'm gonna hold this stretch. I wanna feel something, maybe fire that glute a little bit. Try and get into a neutral pelvic position so you're not extended back. You're nice and straight. You feel a little bit of a stretch here. I'm gonna flatten my back foot into the floor like so. I'm just gonna take a couple deep breaths in this stretch position. Deep breath. Beautiful. One breath in. And out. Let's go one more breath in. And out. Okay, now we're going to strengthen our hip flexor. In this lengthened range of motion, we're going to strengthen our glutes in this shortened range of motion. What we're going to do, it's called a progressive isometric angular load. We're going to contract isometrically, so we're not moving. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to push my back foot into the floor. I'm going to rotate that pelvis as best as I can, and I'm going to ramp that contraction up. Progressive angular isometric load. So from here, I'm squeezing. It's 20, 40, 60, nice and strong, 80, squeezing that glute, push that back floor hard, and think of dragging your knee across the floor to really drive that hip forward and hold nice and strong now with a deep breath in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, and little break, beautiful. We're gonna switch over to the other side, same thing, that kneeling position here. We'll take 3 big deep breaths in. You should feel just a little bit of tension through your hip flexor in the front. One more big breath right into your belly. Put your hand right at your side. And Okay, now same thing, my 2 cues. Drive my shin into the floor and think of dragging my knee up against the floor. Again, to try and work and rotate that pelvis, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. Ready? Here we go. We're going for 20. Deep breaths in, 40, 60, 80, and now to build tension, I'm gonna hold my hands together and go nice and strong. Drag that knee, push that that shin into the floor, hold strong for 5, 4, keep squeezing, 3, 2, and good, release. Okay, now again, going back, what we're gonna do is called a kinetic rep. So with a kinetic rep, we're gonna turn on and then off, on and then off. We're gonna go for 3 reps. Essentially, you're just mimicking that same sort of stretch and strengthen that we just did. Drive that knee forward, push that shin in. We're gonna build up for 5 seconds, and then we're gonna release for 5, build up for 5, release for 5. Ready? Here we go. Drive that shin in, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. Hold it, and now go 80, 60, 40, 20, and drive again. Push that shin in, 20, 40, squeezing, 60, 80, 100. Good, 100, 80, 60, 40, 20. One more, here we go. Drive, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. Good, and release, 100, 80, 60, 40, 20. Beautiful. Okay, now we have what we call a passive range liftoff. So working our hip flexors here. Let's spend a little bit more time in the back, our hip extensors. We're going to work our hamstring in a shortened range of motion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and strengthen it and pull my heel up. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Little break. Same thing. Ready? Drive that heel up. Go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Little break. And one more. Hold up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. We're going to switch to the other side. Good. Starting with a kinetic rep for our hip flexors here. Ready? And drive that knee against the floor. Push that shin in. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. Hold nice and strong. 80, 60, 40, 20. Now drive and ramp a little bit harder. Go 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. Strong. Good. 100, 80, 60, 40, 20. Good. And again, one more. Ready, set, let's drive. Go 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. Hold strong. Good. 100, 80, 60, 40, 20. Beautiful. Passive range liftoffs with the hamstring. Ready, heel to that butt. Drive it up. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Little break. If you feel some cramping, just bring it back down a little bit. Go up when you can. And again, heel to butt. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Little break. And one more time. Nice and strong. Ready, drive up and hold. Go. Take. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Rest. Okay, next one. And our last one is going to be hip hug. So you're going to drive up. We're not actually going to hug. What we're simply going to do is just drive our knee into our chest. So we've really worked our hip flexors in a lengthened range of motion. Now we're going to work them in a shortened range of motion. The more we can work the long range of motion and the short range of motion, the more control we're going to have overall, the healthier these tissues are going to be. And ultimately with our hip flexors, they really play a big emphasis on what our lower back and our pelvis does, and it will help to increase health in your lower back by being able to control your hip flexors through all range of motion. So you ready for it? From here, I'm going to drive up. If you have your hand placed on something, great. If you don't, no problem. Just try and balance yourself. I'm going to drive that knee in. I'm bringing that knee to my chest and holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. A little break. Same thing. Drive up. Hold. You should feel right in the angle of your hip there. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. And a little higher this time. Ready? Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 more. Nice and strong. Ready? Drive up. Hold. 5, 4. A little higher. 3, 2, 1. And I'm really working that back glute as well. Digging that leg in. Here we go. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very good. All right. Other side. Ready? Hand. I'm going to hold on top of the fridge here. I'm ready. Set. Drive up. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Little break, and again, drive up, hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, and again, up, hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3. Fight for every inch of range of motion or every centimeter. Drive that knee up a little higher, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and last one. Here we go. Good. And drive up, hold strong, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Okay, we're gonna finish off back where we started. Down. I want you to feel the difference in your hips now. So quadruped here, fire hydrants, bring it in, out, up, around. What you hope to feel is a little bit more range of motion, also too, just a little bit better connection. We're gonna go for 5 each side, and a little bit more control as you perform that circle. We'll go 2 more on our right side, up, around, good, and 1 more, here we go, nice and strong, in, out, up, around. We're gonna switch other side, in, out, up, around, good, in, out, up, around, in, out, up, around, 2 more, in, out, up, around, last one, in, out, up, around, and voila for our hip mobilizer. I wouldn't really call it a hip opener, but definitely a hip mobilizer. Again, with mobility, it's all about building up that strength. Strength in the long range, strength in the end range. That goes for hip flexors, hip extensors, adductors, abductors, throughout your entire body. So with this stretch, if you liked it, if it felt good, if you feel like you need to practice it more, just press pause, reset the video, and you can try it again. The more you do these stretches, the more you do these strengthening control exercises, the stronger you're gonna be, the more resilient you're gonna be, not only for your workouts, but for everyday life.